Hi and welcome to the fifth video tutorial. Today we are going to cover services. This wasn't my plan, by the way, but I don't know if you have seen the previous video, but in the previous video I showed a lot of blue boxes to hide my API keys everywhere. That was not easy because I needed to synchronize the time and I physically had to make those boxes. And so today I want to minimize the time where my API key is visible, so service is the day. Okay, so you can hit Command T here, and you can just type in Ionic G service, and I'll name it API key, right? Then you can see your service is created here. And so service is nothing but your own library. So what I'm going to do in this service function is basically I'm going to initialize my API key variable, and I'm going to make a function that can return that API key so I can use it in the other functions such as home.page.ts. So here's how it goes. Private, because I don't want to touch this variable, underscore API key equals that, and the value goes blue box right there. And I'm going to make this function public so I can use it in the other function. I'm going to use this name and return my API key. And since this complains, I'm going to do that. So now I can use this API key in other functions. So for instance, remember the URL we need is this one, private URL is that. And now we need to call our API function, API key service, and we need to combine our URL to complete this URL. So I want to make this capitalized URL is the combination of URL plus this API key. And of course this HTTP GET method will then be using my complete URL, and the type of the output is not going to be Bitcoin anymore. I don't know what type they have, so I'm just not going to specify the type, and I'm just going to print it so I can see. And I'm not going to be using this type anymore, so I'm simply getting rid of that. So okay, we are ready. Let's put some breakpoints in here and there so you guys can check if your URL is correctly put, and then move on. Hold on. So now at this point you guys can check your URL. I'm not going to do it because if I do it, then I'm going to have to make those blue boxes again. So I'm gonna assume that you did it, and I'm moving on. So if I press it, then so we got the data from the URL, and the data, if I print it, is an array, right? And the first element looks like that. It's just like the one that we saw in the Chrome page in the previous video. So it's got time and ask price and bid price. So usually when we make charts, x-axis is the time and y-axis is ask price or bid price. So we are ready to draw a chart, and we'll do it in the next tutorial. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.